All right, fans, here we are, the third and final segment of episode 2 of Sports Chat. We're going to be talking about a lot of the way of high school sports. We already mentioned the track team, baseball team, had an excellent showing against Central, swept them in a doubleheader. Central, one of the premier baseball schools in the area.
Yeah, they're playing Anderson County today. Let's see if they can maybe get a win down there.
Of course, Anderson County has Tanner Torres on it. He's a Jacksboro product, played football. He's an excellent baseball player. Campbell County, they swept Cumberland Gap. They've had strong showings all year.
Up to a nice start in the baseball department. They've had a lot of coach turnover the last few years, but they're finally starting to stabilize that.
Also on the softball front, even though Campbell County did fall to Anderson County by a score of 9-2. The other day, the same day as the track meet, Kirsten Allen for Campbell County knocked one out of the park and put 2 runs on the board. So, even though they're a program that's still sort of trying to find their identity and get some wins under their belt, Campbell County softball is progressing. Campbell County tennis recently went up and defeated Claiborne County. Now that's a program that's the tennis and the track program have coaching stability, and it shows. Jason Ivey has done a tremendous job with that tennis team, and I look for several of them that they're on that team to possibly play on the next level by the time they graduate.
The tennis teams in the past have done very well. We've had Campbell County had a good history of good tennis teams.
So that just shows what coaching stability can do.
You have to be very fit to play tennis, very fit to run track, and it just shows that there are a lot of good athletes in Campbell County, and especially considering the fact that people from Anderson County's baseball team are from Campbell County. Their track team are from Campbell County.
Cumberland Gap,
the softball team
has a player playing at LMU now from their baseball team that's originally from Campbell County, which is the Campbell County Christian Academy.
You get lots of players. Campbell County feeds, unfortunately, in some cases, a lot of other schools.
The 2 middle schools here that by all rights should be feeding Campbell County High School are feeding Campbell County, Anderson County, Cumberland Gap, J. Frank White, Halls. There's at least one player at Halls. It's unfortunate. Now, speaking of Cumberland Gap, Rusty Providence, he's having a standout year as a freshman. Considered one of the top freshman throwers out there by ESPNRise.com. ESPNRise.com, it's a new thing with ESPN where they rank high school athletes.
Providence has definitely got the blood behind him. His father, was a national champion at track at Tennessee.
And he's just a freshman. And yesterday at William Blount, he threw the shot put 48 feet and 11.5 inches. He was edged out first place by Knoxville West and their thrower Demetrius Green, who threw it 52 feet 1.25 inches. Same thing in the discus. Rusty, he threw 136 feet 7 inches, came in second. Same fellow, Demetrius Green from Knox West, to 139 feet 8 inches.
I'm assuming that's probably an upperclassman.
Senior. He's a senior.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I would say by the time Mr. Providence is a senior, he's probably going to be on a state championship.
Well,
he's already at a state championship level. He'd probably be winning state championships.
Well, I'll put it this way. Out of 14 teams, Cumberland Gap's track team finished 11th. The interesting thing about that is there's one member of that team, and that's Rusty Providence.
He is a one-man track team.
Yeah, he's got a lot of potential. He's what ESPN Rise would consider an elite. The elites on that are people that have a good chance of going on to the next level. Kristen Chapman is an elite. Also, as far as shot put goes, on the girls' side, Shayla Goins won at William Blount yesterday with throw of 34 feet and 8.5 inches in the shot put. Yeah, it's pretty good distance.
Well, you know, the shows where she's in the top 5 in the state.
Yeah, she's
Shot putter, so
she's a pretty impressive thrower. I mean, there's
that shows. Like I said, Campbell County has good athletes. When you get a program that has good coaching stability, that turns into success. And, you know, if we can keep our athletes home, if we, you know, get everybody to go out for the football team that would be capable of playing, and because Jacksboro football and even the fall football, they compete at the middle school level.
oh, I mean, the two teams this year, probably the most combined talent I've seen in a long time.
You would hope that, you know, in 3 or 4 years that's going to show up at Campbell County, and you know, this new coaching staff will have it together and be able to get those kids to come out and play for them.
Now, like, for example, two very good middle school quarterbacks played this year. Ethan Jeffers and Kane Peel, I mean, both had outstanding seasons. Now, Jeffers literally, with Cody Parker's offense at La Follette, was able to control the clock by throwing passes.
But they had a really nice short passing game, throw the ball all over the field. You know, you don't see many successful middle school quarterbacks able to throw the ball, and we had 2.
And you know, you look.
And that's, you know, on this side of the map.
That's just the two quarterbacks. They've had, you know, some good linemen the last few years. There's actually a lineman, Austin Raines, who's a 7th grader at Jacksboro. Been starting since he was a 6th grader. That is going to make an impact in high school on the defensive line.
Yeah, he's already making some big stops for Jacksboro.
He's defensive tackle. You know, defensive tackles can really make a difference.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the foundation for any football team. You get your offensive line and defensive line. If you can control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, you're going to win football games.
You know, in the running game, you had Jesse Sharp at Jacksboro. He had a heck of a year. There's an Oaks kid at La Follette named Jesse. I believe Jesse Oaks was his name. So they some good running backs. Darren Gillenwater has a lot of potential at receiver if he plays football. Now, I couldn't blame Darren a bit if he just did nothing but play basketball with the season he had.
Oh, he's really excellent basketball player for La Follette, or for Jacksboro, pardon me. And you know, I expect him to show up at Campbell County, and for whomever the new coach names, if you can actually get Gillenwater up to Campbell County.
And the new coach will be named on April the 18th. That is official. You know, I've heard that's when the search process ends and they're going to name the new coach. It's been advertised for people to bring their applications in. Don't know who's sent any in yet.
We're still going to hold out hope for Bruce Pearl, but I'm not really going to expect that one. But
Hey, you know, stranger things have happened. You know, I mean, okay, they've not. I can't think of anything stranger that's happened than that.
that would be an oddity.
But like I say, Campbell County, sports-wise, a lot of good stuff going on. Jellicoe's girls softball team, even though they fell to Coalfield yesterday, off to a strong start this year. Jellicoe's baseball team not playing too bad. That's the only spring sports they have. There's baseball and softball. And Nancy Douglas, their softball coach, does great work. And she's been the coach up there for as long as I can remember. And Jellicoe has always competed well in softball.
There's successful spring sports going on across the county, and you know, we encourage everyone to go out and attend those sports.
I mean, really, if you've not,
you buy their concessions, you pay the small fee to get into the game,
you know,
and it goes straight to the team and helps them out.
And you know, it's one of those things. Help these teams out. A lot of you know, it's like, oh, well, you know, they get so much money. They don't get any money. Not a sport in this county, outside of coaching supplements, is funded by the school board. You know, never has been. In fact, you know, it really put a damper on middle school athletics when Eugene Lawson banned fundraising as a homecoming.
Right.
You know, and right or wrong, agree with it or not, that's how Jacksboro, I can promise you, I can walk you through the history of Jacksboro building just a completely successful fundraising event around that. I mean, it's...
Yeah, that was a big money maker, and you know, it took away a lot.
So, you know, now they have to work harder to raise money in other aspects. And like I said, right or wrong, agree with it or don't agree with it on how that works. You know, that's a big thing.
You know, you go to these track meets and softball games. Those kids, they're out there giving as much effort as anybody who plays football or basketball or the sports that, you know, are generally more popular that people actually go and attend. You get the same effort from the kids.
And you know, I tell you, baseball is a spectator sport. It's just a good atmosphere. And softball, the same thing. And Luke, I believe it was you that mentioned to me, they sell a season pass for the softball.
You
can get a season pass.
You can. The girls every year, at least the last couple of years, they look for sponsors because, as we mentioned, they have to buy everything. They got to get their uniforms. They got to raise money for uniforms and
bats,
balls, the helmets, all these things. The girls have to raise their money for. And one of the ways they did that was they asked for sponsors. And part of being a sponsor is you get a season pass to the home games.
You know, so if you got a business out there and you want to sponsor something, well, first off, you should sponsor us on Sports Chat. We'll produce commercials, but more importantly, you should sponsor these teams. You know.
Yeah, that's a good way. You know.
Well, I'll give you an example. The track team, they're kind of mix and match uniforms wise,
Yeah.
But whereas you go to Anderson County, there's one uniform. You know, so you know. And there's only one home track meet. I really have to encourage you all to attend it. You know, like I said, there's always excitement. The middle school track meet coming up Monday. You know, there's a lot of future high school athletes going to be at that meet. So, you know, fans, you know, real quick, we're about to wrap this show up for the week. Sunday is WrestleMania. You know, it's the Super Bowl of wrestling. This year, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Shawn Michaels will all be there. 3 biggest stars of the Attitude Era. You know, I actually am going to do a very rare thing and actually buy a pay-per-view this week. It looks like it should be some good stuff. Yeah, I've not followed wrestling completely in years. Like back when old SECW Wrestle Talk was on the air. But this week should be a good one, and we are bringing Wrestle Talk back in a few weeks. So I hope if you enjoy this show, you'll join us on that one. Fans, we are about out of time.
Our camera girl Raven Powers, she had to go, so I'm gonna have to get up and turn the camera off.
So please forgive our lack of professionality. Fans, we'll see you next week, and always remember, if you can't feel it,
don't sell it.
We're out.